Hello, everyone, and welcome to this webinar. It is a pleasure for us to introduce you to the next edition of the Master in Data Management and Curation, which is a joint course of Area Science Park and SISSA. So first of all, I would like to ask the co-directors of the Master in Data Management and Curation, Professor Eugenio Piasini from SISSA and Dr. Stefano Cozzini from Area Science Park, to tell you something about the Master. Thank you, Eugenio. Eugenio is a professor from the neuroscience area in SISSA, and Stefano Cozzini is the director of the research for technological innovation in Area Science Park. So Eugenio, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Maria Rita. Hello, everyone. So I'm very happy to welcome you on behalf of SISSA, who is, as Maria Rita was saying, is one of the two institutions that is co-organizing the master. As you know, SISSA is an empirical research institute which specializes in physics, mathematics, and neuroscience. So I just want to say a couple of words. I'll be very quick. So the act of collecting and organizing data is truly a fundamental cornerstone of the scientific method itself, right, since its inception. However, the sheer volume and the complexity of the data that is generated by modern empirical and computational research leads to, I want to say, the inescapable necessity for a deliberate and systematic approach to the management of data. So this approach must ensure that the data is well structured and accessible for us and for others. Right? Importantly, this principle is not just the only hope that we have really for not ending up being overwhelmed by the data that we ourselves generate, but is also an important part of our social responsibility as researchers and a fundamental dimension of research integrity. So for all these reasons, the MDMC, the Master in Data Management and Curation, is really a strategic initiative for SISSA and something that we deeply believe in. So, but it's not just us. I mean, it's not just us in Area, right? It's every year we involve a growing network of research institutions across Italy and Europe to ensure that we stay in touch with the diverse realities of the research and data management practice across fields. So that's it. I'm not going to keep you any longer. I thank you for being here again. I hope that you're going to like what you're going to hear today and that you're going to be part of the next edition of MDMC. Thank you so much.
Okay, Eugenio, thank you very much for your insightful message. And now I ask Stefano Cozzini to give a couple of words about this course, which was one of his children among many.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Maria Rita, and welcome everybody to this virtual presentation of the master in data curation, management and data curation. Actually, yeah, I strongly believe in what we did actually. So I mean, together with Maria Rita and together with the friends, with the SISSA friends, we set up this master a couple of years ago. I mean, the situation was actually, I mean, the occasion actually, let's say, was dictated by the fact that we have this PNR project. So we thought that actually it would be nice to spend some money of the Italian and the European taxpayer in actually trying not just to buy things, buy hardware, but also try to teach people how to save the data that these scientific instruments and the computational infrastructure and whatever produce. Because actually, I think that this is really very much important. I mean, science is now, to do science and to do research, we need to deal with data and to deal properly with data. It's not just a matter, and this will be clarified later, it's not just a matter of open data, but it's actually a matter of open science and the fact that data should actually be at the center of the investigation. And this not just for science, if I can, but also for our So for other aspects, we are actually generating so much data and taking into account how to curate this data and what is actually our responsibility as scientists and also as citizens in dealing with the data in the appropriate way can actually be it's actually a quite important point, and is a point of responsibility for everybody, for every informed scientist and every informed citizen as well. Say that sounds like a little bit philosophical. I would like just to thank you very much to be with us today, and I leave the floor to Maria Rita and Federica, if I'm correct, that will present the master and will give you an idea of what is the master. And then there are a lot of other interesting things and real witnesses that can tell you what this master deals with. So thank you very much, and enjoy the afternoon.
Okay, Stefano, thank you. Thank you to our directors for the inspiring message. So now, sorry, I did not introduce myself. I'm Maria Rita De Luca. I'm the coordinator of the Master in Data Management and Curation. And together with my colleague, Federica Bazzocchi, which is a really valuable contribution to this master. I think everything is going to happen also because of her. Thank you, Federica. And we are from the Laboratory of Data Engineering in Area Science Park. So the structure of this webinar is going to be that Federica and I will give you a brief presentation about the structure of the program, how to apply as a student, and how to collaborate with us as a company or a partner institution. And Federica will give you an insight of the methodology and the scientific program of the master. And then I would like to thank a lot of testimonials. We are going to give their testimony today. People which are from company or research centers which supported students during the previous edition and the current edition, and some students which are going to give us their insight, let's say, from the very deep part of the course. So I think we can start with the presentation. Okay, sorry, we have to go. Thank you very much. Okay, so first of all, you already know, since we heard from Eugenio and Stefano, that the Master in Data Management and Curation is a joint course from Area Science Park and SISSA. Just what I want to stress is that Area SISSA really has a complementary role in the joining course. Area is an open, is a research center under the supervision of the Italian Ministry for University and Research, has an open research infrastructure. One of it is our beloved data center, Orfeo, which is an HP and AI computing infrastructure, which plays an important role in the Master in Data Management and Curation. We have the Laboratory of Data Engineering, which with research in data management, data infrastructure, and data science. And also Area is a technology park where many companies are hosted, or the research center of many companies are hosted. While probably you know SISSA is a master university, so for a PhD school, of course, is well known around the world for excelling in science, but also SISSA has a very important role in open access and in the history of open science, hosted the archive service back on time, and now it's an editor of many open access journals, and also has other successful master programs like the Master in Science Communication and the Master in High Performance Computing. So this ecosystem really combines infrastructures, research, competencies, and a strong culture of open science. And I would like to start from that, making a very clear point that open science is something that is different from open access. So open science is, the message is, it promotes transparent, reproducible, and collaborative research, which could be done in a research center, in a public body, or in a companies, where data, methods, and results are managed according to the FAIR principles, which is the acronym of findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable. But let's say that there are guidelines to manage and curate the data to ensure the quality, the integrity, and the long-term reuse of data. So it is something that's completely different from making everything openly accessible. The master in data management and curation, the aim of the master is the providing the skills that are becoming more and more strategic, not only for research institutions, but also for companies which are working with the data-intensive processes, AI, and innovation data-driven environments. The master, the next edition, 2026-2027 of the master, is going to start on September 22nd. The total duration of the master is 10 months, so it is going to end on in June 2027. The course is completely in English. The lectures and the training material, everything is in English. It's a fully international course. It is divided in-person lectures, the first 10 weeks from September 22nd to the first week of December, and then in Trieste, both half in SISSA and half in Area Science Park campuses. And then there is an internship period with hands-on experience in research laboratories or partner companies for the students, lasting from January to June 27. This course is in Italian corso di perfezionamento, which means it is a high level training course. It is structured like a first level master degree, so after the bachelor, but it is not a legal title. That means that it is compatible for students with the enrollment in master and PhD degree. The lecturers are national and international experts. For example, I'm very happy to say that the father of the FAIR data, Mark Wilkinson, was one of the lecturers last year, and he's going to participate in as a lecturer also next year. We have a strong connection with the European Open Science Cloud, the EOSC, and other major European initiatives and projects, and there are scholarships available for the next edition. Any other kind of details, we will be very happy to respond to your email, talk to you, and if you have questions, you can write in the comments, and we will answer all the questions at the end of the webinar. And also in the following slides, there are some QR codes for some links that where you can find more details. I would like to point what are some unique features of this course. The students will have their own virtual machine to access our infrastructure Orfeo. They will learn how to work in a scientific environment, in Linux environment, and how to work remotely in the data center. And they also will have computing resources to carry on their project activities during the internship. And the other point that I want to mention is this hands-on internship, which is really a distinctive approach of this course, because usually the problem in trying to give this kind of training is that it is very difficult to go deeply in the specific discipline. So the internship is a possibility for the student to work in a real environment and facing a real problem, of course, trying to solve it during the internship itself. if you're curious to know something about it, all the training material that was developed and presented in this master in the previous edition is openly available on the repository Zenodo. The lectures, seminars, workshop, the previous thesis and the presentation, and all the exercises and the code developed is openly available on GitHub. For the companies participating as collaborators, if there are issues in making, for example, the results open, there is no problem. We can talk about it and negotiate. And the only important thing is that some information, the metadata of the work are open, and the thesis, for example, could be under some embargo. So don't be scared about this, let's say, open policy. Okay, so now I will give you some information for the student and for the partners. For students, the deadline for the application is June 30 at 1 p.m. The admission requirements is the bachelor degree, and starting from this year, also the ETS diploma, which is a 2 years diploma in Italy. There is no, let's say, a specific area, a specific discipline required for the bachelor, but we ask for prerequisites because otherwise it is very hard to follow the course. You should have a basic digital and computational skills like basic Python programming, basic mathematics and statistics, and a good English proficiency, since, like I mentioned before, everything will be in English. There are 2 types of students allowed to participate in the course. The full participant with a fee of 4,500 euros, which is going to be to participate in the in-presence lectures. They will do the internship and the final thesis discussion. While the other category of students are auditors, they have a fee of 2,500 euros, and they are going to participate only to the classroom lectures. Next edition, we will have different types of scholarship and financial support. There are full exemption from the participation fee. There are 2 supported by Area Science Park, 2 supported by SISSA, dedicated to SISSA students, and 1 supported by the Oceanographic Institute, or OGS. There will be additional financial support for mobility reason, but only the selected student will be able to apply. And sorry, I mentioned that one from OGS is a dedicated scholarship funded with a specific project, and they also are going to fund an additional grant of 3,500 euros. I take the chance to thank all the partners, of course, AREA and SISSA, but also SERICERIC, the Central European Research Infrastructure Consortium, from which we will see in a very short time Ornella Di Giacomo, which is a testimonial today. Also the company Beantech will have another testimonial today. We received the funding from the Regione Friuli, Autonoma Friuli Venezia Giulia, from the next 3 years of the Master in Data Management and Curation, and we also have support and collaboration with other research projects from Area Science Park and SISSA. And we also thank the SIMAI, which is the Società Italiana di Matematica Applicata e Industriale, which is going to support us from this year on. How to become a partner in the collaboration? There are 2 ways. So this section, it's more dedicated to institutions and companies. The first option is to sponsor a scholarship, so to sponsor a dedicated position. In this case, the partner financially supports a dedicated participation position for scholarship. The basis is the fee plus additional facilities. the partner hosts a student during the internship period and provides supervision and mentoring. In this case, the internship topic and the candidate profile are defined before the student selection, since the partner is going to participate in the selection process. And we need, in order to do that, a formal agreement before or within, let's say, the half of June. It is important to mention that if the student is not selected, the agreement and any related commitment will automatically lapse. So it's a non-binding if you don't find your suitable candidate. The other possibility to collaborate is offering to host a student. In this case, the partner hosts the student during the internship, provides supervision and mentoring, may optionally offer additional facility or benefits. It depends on what it is decided on the partner side. And in this case, the student-partner match is defined after the beginning of the lecture, more or less around the end of October 26, and the matching is based on the student profiles, the interests, and the proposed internship project from the partner. If you want to become a partner, the way is to send an email to MDMC@SISSA.it with very basic information like your name, the kind of partner, if it is a company, research institution, whatever, an hypothesis of the project title that of course can be slightly changed after that, but it is important, a very brief project abstract. It should be also very general, so you don't have to go, let's say, deeply in the detail, but the idea should be there. If you already have an idea, also the supervisor, the internship location, and the modality. Of course, the duration will be from January to June 2027. Optional details are the expected skills or preferred background for the student, and if additional facilities are offered. Okay, now I will stop and I will leave the floor to Federica.
Thank you, Margherita, and good afternoon to everybody. I'm Federica, and I'm one of the teacher of this master. And actually, my course is Tools for Data Management and Curation. So it's one of the core course, I could say. The program of this master is built on a very we could say trivial observation, the fact that the data are the central core of a digital ecosystem that involves different fields, but that share at least one pillar, the importance of having a good data management in order to maximize and optimize the intrinsic value of the data. Starting from this simple observation, actually, we build on next slide. We built on a program, a solid program that aim to give to all the students a basic block of skills and competencies to manage data in all of the entire data life cycle, starting from ingestion to storage, processing, and also to data integrity and data governance. Actually, are 10 years, more or less, not more or less, sorry, are exactly 10 years since the FAIR principle have been introduced in academia as guidelines to manage in a proper way the data. And even if the acronym is specific for academia, let's say FAIR and connected to open science, these principles are nothing else but very best practice that are necessary in every system in which big data are managed in order to extract, to optimize the maximum value they bring. Actually, once we provide to the student this solid and we could say general block, we want to explain how good data management may be declined also according to different skill and background. Therefore, we in the master, there are specific seminar and lectures that go deep on specific topics. For example, last year we had very interesting seminars regarding how data are managed in big research infrastructure. We had, for example, a contribution from the synchrotron in Grenoble, so an example that raised from material science physics, but also very important, I could say, 8 hours lectures coming from the CERN. So an example how big data in particle physics are managed. But moreover, we provide also seminars and lectures in, we could say, more theoretical fields. For example, we had a lecture that approached the problems of data qualities, the law issues related to data, and also, for example, all the issues related to data governance. Our aim is providing the students with all to make the student understand that they may decline, for example, their project thesis according to their backgrounds and, of course, their interest. For this reason, as you may see in the next slides, the program is built mainly on 4 main modules, we could say. One is most theoretical, is theoretical and approach all the topics regarding, for example, open science, principle of data management, legal and ethical issues, and data policies. Also, licensing and, for example, issues related to the GDPR. Then we have 3 more technical modules. One concern really is devoted to fill eventually any gap related to technical skills. And then there are 2 modules specific, one related exactly on data management and stewardship, and the other one to application of artificial intelligence in dealing with the data. So you may see that the program is deeply rich and actually cover at 360 degrees, let's say, the world around the data. I would, for example, bring your attention to the 2 master theses developed by 2 students with which I had the honor to work. And one is 2 very brilliant students, actually. One is a student of the last year edition, and he developed a web app that was a sort of metadata collector, even if declined in an experimental setup, is called an electronic lab notebook, and moreover provided a solution, provided the possibility to package data and metadata according to a given standards. This tool is extremely useful for researchers because in the collection and then in the preparation phase of the data. The other student is a student from Ecuador, and is finishing now his thesis, and he has, during his master project, he developed a graphical user interface that allows to explore, to manage data, to manage that acts as a middle layer between the user and the chief object storage system, and allows user to manage data along all their data life cycle. And because the tool allows both creating, for example, the buckets for the data, uploading the data, but moreover defining the correct policies and assessment. In addition, I developed also some visualization facilities. As you see, even if these projects, both of them are declined, we could say, from an infrastructure point of view, of course, they address different needs inside different digital ecosystem. And therefore, we could say that the master offer the possibility to develop many kind of project interesting that suit the needs of what could be companies or research institution. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Federica, for the presentation. Now we will present our guest. And first of all, we have Ornella Di Giacomo, which is the is the Deputy Executive Director at CERIC, which is the Central European Research Infrastructure Consortium. Sorry, I'm always mixing the name. So thank you, Ornella, for being with us. We start with you because we would like to ask you from the perspective of the infrastructures. So what is the concrete value of investing in this kind of training in data management and curation?
Yes. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you, Maria Rita, for calling us here to talk about our experience. Now, for us, this master is very important because, as was just mentioned, this is not a competence that was delivered time ago. It's not something that is built in most of the scientists. We started as a provider of access to large physical infrastructures. This is our core business. This is how we started 15 years ago. And at the moment, the only important thing was to provide the best possible machines in the world. Then we realized that these machines are very sophisticated, and in our case, they are all complementary and very different. But what they all have in common is that they produce data and produce a lot of data, and we need to deal with that. Now, again, these competencies were not developed in the past, and what happened very usually is that we got our users coming here with hard disks, with USB drives, with whatever, and then they lost the data. They didn't, either they physically lost the data somewhere, the disks, or they couldn't recover their experiments. So we think that a proper management of data is fundamental, is crucial for increasing the efficiency of research and making the most of this value. In addition to this, there is also the fact that with time, we have changed the mentality, and with the rise of open data, if we provide the right metadata and we make data findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable, in the end, this data has the same value as the use of an instrument. So we would like to see in the future, we would like this approach to be more and more shared in a way that we can provide also access to data as we provide access to infrastructures, and that this data produces further value. So it's a way to increase the value of our facilities. This is most of it. We had a very nice experience with one of the interns, and this is a typical example. We had a database that was built by one of the scientists in one of the instruments, and they were using it for internal purposes only. And this internship was key to make this a database across different instruments and different facilities in different countries in Europe. And now this is a tool that will be provided openly for the whole community of X-ray absorption in this case. So yes, this is, in few words, the value for us.
Okay. Thank you, Ornella. Thank you very much for your message, and I'm very happy to hear that you are happy with our student. And now I will welcome our second guest, which is Daniele Casson. Daniele is the business unit manager for the big data analytics business unit in BioNTech, which is a technological company from Udine. And Daniele also participated in the series of seminars that Federica was mentioning before, which were integrated in our lecture to show the students very good practices, not only in infrastructure, but also in companies. And so Daniele, thank you very much for being with us. To you, of course, we are going to ask something more related to the private sector. So what did you see? Oh, sorry, and there is a student this year during doing the internship with Daniele and his colleagues. So what did you see as a value as in our students and in the training that we provided?
Well, thank you, Margarita, and good afternoon, everyone. From my perspective, one of the most valuable aspects of the MDMC master was the ability to connect two words that are often kept separate in everyday work. From one side, the practical, technical side of the data management, and from the other side, the more structured, research-oriented approach. In BioNTech, we work in, as Margarita said, a highly technological environment where, of course, speed and execution are essential. But most of the time, projects are driven by concrete business needs, deadlines, and operational priorities. Because of this, it's not always easy to dedicate enough time to focus to research and development activities, even when we know that they are strategically very important. What the master and of course the internship brought to us was exactly this added value, a methodology and let me say a mindset that enable a more scientific and structured way to approach data experimentation and innovation and so on. Through the internship experience, we had the opportunity to combine our practical approach with a deeper focus on research questions, data quality, validation methods, and of course, critical analysis. And I believe this is becoming more and more important nowadays. We live in a time where technology evolves extremely fast, and companies need to be quick in adopting innovation, especially in areas like AI, data-driven systems, and areas like the areas we work in. But speed alone, I think, is not enough. And to me, it is equally important to develop the ability to understand the implication of these technologies, evaluate them critically, and of course, build a long-term vision. The master, the MDMC master, had to create this balance between practical execution and research thinking. For us, this was a very valuable contribution because it reinforced not only the technical competencies, but also the capacity to approach innovation with, let me say, a greater awareness and methodological rigor. So overall, I would say that the master did not just improve specific skills, but it helped introduce a more mature and future-oriented way of working with data and research. Thank you.
Okay, Daniele, thank you very much. That was very nice because sometimes it's difficult to speak the same language. So that's one of the difficulties between research and companies. So this is something that we are trying to address. And thank you again for the collaboration this year that we will hope it will be repeated in the future.
Yes, of course.
Thank you, Daniele.
Thanks
and
to you.
the next guest is Riccardo Brancaleon, which is from the company Promoscience. So is another experience in company, but also Riccardo has had the experience as a lecturer in the master and he's from a company which is hosted in the Area Science Park, in the technological park of Area Science Park. So Riccardo, thank you very much for being with us. And to you, I'm going to ask, from your experience in your company, so how do you see that MDMC students were able to give something to your company during the internship?
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon to everybody. Thank you, Maria Rita, and to the organizer for inviting me to this event. Just I would like to start from what we learned from our experience in terms of collaboration with other organizations, companies, and other research institutes. During the last years, I noticed that there is a common problem among the organization with that we collaborate with. People think that the issue is the lack of data, of information, but the problem is different. It's the opposite. The companies and organizations has a lot of information, but the problem is usually they are not able to exploit the value of this data. And also another experience we learn is that there is a common misunderstanding, as you said before. Many organizations, in particular the company, worry when they hear the terms fair data, and they think that fair means data must be open. But as you already mentioned, this is not true. FAIR is making the data well described, well managed, well easy to be retrieved, etc. For a company, this is very important. In particular, knowing what data the company has, where it is, how it can be reused, or this can help really the organization to make better decision and improve the activities and the research and development in particular. And for this reason, I think that data management and data curation is really important also for a company like PromoScience. And in particular nowadays, now that it is increasingly important to adopt artificial intelligence tools. If a company base AI tools on not well curated documented data, the AI will just amplify the problem of the source data. And therefore, we try to start a collaboration also with the trainee in our company to manage some part of the data we had, and to improve the method and the process we adopted also for other organizations. And for this, I noticed one interesting thing is that to achieve this, we don't need just the technical competencies, but we require the ability to understand the domain where the data has been produced and where the data will be used. And for this reason, I will, as a lecturer of the course, I was particularly surprised by the diversity of the backgrounds of the master students that I met during my lessons. They come from very different domains and have different ambition or different objectives. But this, I think, is really a great strength for them, because, as I said, data curation is not a technical issue, but require to be connected in the context of the operational case that has been managed. And for this, it has been a great pleasure to host one of the trainees. And because I think that it is a new professionals also in terms of a company, because they can bring really value to different organizations, not just a research infrastructure, research institute, university, but also to a company like PromoScience or others. Thanks.
Thank you, Riccardo, for your perspective, which was very interesting to point out. In fact, this is a challenge in this master in data management and curation. So to keep updated with the latest evolution in AI and in all the tools that are going to help data management. And this is a good assist to present our new guest, which is Elae Saadat. She is a student from the pilot edition of the Master in Data Management and Curation last year. She got a PhD in SISSA in statistical physics, and then she tried to participate, of course, with great success in the Master in Data Management and Curation, and now Ela is working as a postdoc in our LADE laboratory, and she is developing AI fair agent. So Ela, thank you for being here. So I'm going to ask you, what is the most significant capability you gained from MDMC?
Thank you, Maria Rita, for inviting me. Good afternoon, everybody, or good morning if you are watching at other times. As Maria Rita said, I got a PhD in statistical physics, and my journey to Master of Data Management started from my PhD. I was working with the experimental data for modeling the data, and at that time I realized that having a lot of data is not guaranteeing a good result. It is about understanding the data, how it is organized, how much you can trust. And because of this difficulty and other interest that I had, my supervisor, Stefano Ruffo, encouraged me to participate in the first edition of Master of Data Management. In my opinion, in this master, I learned to look at data with a broader awareness, and it showed me that data management is not just a technical step, but it is an essential part of scientific work and research. And also it taught me how to interact with other people with different background regarding the same data, which was a difficult part in my PhD, and it became easier during the internship in the master.
Okay, Ela, thank you very much for your message. And so did you like it? Oh, sorry. Okay, I'm confusing la regia, sorry. And we have our new guest, Federica Piccirilli. Federica, she's a researcher from Area Science Park, working on a beamline in Elettra, and she's working on advanced characterization of biological system with spectroscopy and microscopy techniques. So I'm very happy to welcome Federica because she participated in last edition. Of course, she's an experienced researcher, so let's say she was not an experienced student, but I'm happy to have her today because she showed so much involvement in the master for the change in the methodology that brought in your work. So Federica, can you tell something about this?
So good afternoon to everybody, and thank you, Maria Rita. As you said, I was quite enthusiastic in joining the MDMC program. I have to say that it changed my approach to data management through the development of a completely new mindset, different from the one I was used to. With the master, I learned how to deal with the massive and heterogeneous data produced by and I learned how to integrate data and metadata and make them fully interoperable and reusable. In few words, I learned how to consider data not as isolated outputs of an experiment, but as structured architectures that must be designed from the very beginning of the experiment. And this was something that was quite new to me for the way I was used to work before. So adapting this perspective proved extremely important in guaranteeing the fairness at first and the reliability of the results. So it was a kind of change in thinking about the experiments themselves. Another aspect, I was quite enthusiastic and that strongly influenced my research approach was the deeper understanding of open data concept that was given by the MDMC. Before the master, I mainly considered data sharing as a final step of dissemination. And the master inspired me to focus on openness and reproducibility as long-term accessibility to data. So, as I said, to me, it was a real change of mindset.
Thank you, Federica, for the message that it is very related with the integrity of research. And thank you for your message. And now we'll go with our last guest, last but not least, and we're very happy to have Jacopo, because Jacopo is a master student from this year, and he's the only one not from STEM background, because Jacopo got his master degree in psychology at the University of Groningen in the Netherlands. And now he's doing the internship in SISSA Media Lab, which is an in-house company of SISSA. So Jacopo, from your point of view, how was how MDMC contributed to your professional growth, and what do you take with you from this journey that is going to end soon?
Yeah. So, well, thanks, Marita, and hello to everyone. So, I think the very first thing and most important thing that I want to mention was that over the last 8 months, my technical skills and knowledge really developed by a lot. And by that, I mean technical skills in areas like data management, but I would say computer science in general. They really skyrocketed completely in the span of 8 months through the coursework and through the internship work as well, which is something that I'm very, very grateful for, especially having a background in social sciences where those kind of skills are not necessarily, that taught, I would say, and relevant. Let's say they are relevant, but not necessarily taught. So that for sure. And I would say more on the soft skills side, was really learning how to manage and conduct a relatively complex data processing and data analysis project, which meant, on the one hand, being able to independently organize, manage, and conduct your work, while simultaneously keeping open communication and constant communication with the people you're working for. So, yeah, to summarize, I would say both on the technical skills side and on the soft skills side, there's been a great development, and it's something that I'm definitely super grateful for.
Okay, Jacopo, thank you very much. And I think this is another point. Sorry, I forgot to say that if everyone has questions, they can write them in the chat. And the participation of Jacopo or other people not from the STEM background, I think it's an added value to this master in data management and curation, because you don't only need technical skills, but it's really an interdisciplinary work. So every kind of stimulus from other fields is an added value and is very, very welcome. And another thing I would like to mention to Jacopo and the other students, because I got feedback from them, is that we stress the in-presence part of the master, which is really a time in which they grow as a community. And it happens that many times there are different problems in different internships that maybe can be solved with the same approach. So can you tell us something? Is it true? I got this feeling from other students.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say the coursework and the mere presence during the lectures is probably the most important part, and the one part of the master from which you are learning the most, especially because you come in contact, as it was mentioned before by Riccardo Brancaleon, with a lot of different backgrounds as well. So you can really borrow a lot from the people around you, both in terms of the students that you're doing the master with, but I would say also very much in terms of the lecturers that you will meet during the master, which have very high level of expertise, but also come from very different backgrounds as well.
Okay, thank you very much. I think we're almost done with the time, so we can see if there are any questions in the comments. Okay, I see there are some. I will try to read it, and then I will try to answer with Federica. There is a question from Ushka. I hope I am spelling correctly. If as a student who already have a company willing to host me for the internship, was this the correct procedure? Should the company apply as a partner and specify me as the student they would host? Okay, thank you for the question. And in this case, of course, the project could be arranged with the company. So the company has to apply, let's say, to contact us as a partner. And but the selection procedure will be the same for all the other students. So you have to apply, and if you are going to be selected, and sorry, I don't remember if I mentioned that there will be 15 students. Of course, you will do the internship in that company. So we are very open to any kind of arrangement, but the selection of the students will be the same for everyone. And okay.
If you want, there are some questions regarding the kind if the internship, the fellowship are available also for ex-postdoc of SISSA, former SISSA postdoc. That for sure, because there are no any restriction regarding that, right?
Well,
maybe the fellowship, the SISSA fellowship No,
they are related to students, but if you want, please send us an email, and we will evaluate any solution, because it's a bit different if you just finished your PhD or if it was 5 years ago. So please contact us. We will see each situation. Thank you, Federica.
Okay. Moreover, the same person asked which are, let's say, the job opportunities after this kind of master, and if they are more, let's say, in a research institution or in private companies, and if we have a sort of feeling, a survey of which are the rate of people that found a job after the master.
Okay, actually we don't have, let's say, this kind of statistics since the program is too young. What we can say is that unfortunately in Italy there is no the contract of data stewards, which is, for example, in the Netherlands, a very suitable position for this kind of professions. And in the Netherlands, they have statistics that it was the job growing mostly last year. And regarding the previous edition, we know that some of the students did the Master in Data Management and Curation during their master degree, and then they applied for the PhD in the same laboratory where they did the internship. So this was a way to continue the work with more skills. But regarding occupation, it's we're too young, so we don't have them right now.
And moreover, I could say that the students were on average young, in the sense that they finished they were finishing their master degree. The majority of the students were finishing the master degree, and many of them follow in research by doing or a PhD, or, for example, stayed in academia with other internship. For this reason, also, we don't have a great statistics regarding their job profile, let's say. And moreover, there are other two questions. One is asking if we recommend, we suggest this kind of master even for a librarian profile, and if in that case, as auditor for an auditor student with a librarian profile, which are the module we suggest. But of course, actually, the auditor are follow all the modules as well. There are no, let's say, suggestion to say if you are an auditor, is better for you with this profile, it's better for you to follow only this kind of lectures. In my opinion, is even better to follow the courses, the lectures that are farther from his own background, because it's a good opportunity to have, let's say, a basic knowledge of something that maybe you will not have any more of a chance to study. So I would suggest to follow everything, in my opinion, even if for an auditor. And moreover, there is a technical, let's say, application question, let's say, that they are asking in regarding the scholarship, if it is necessary to apply using different forms, or the selection, would say, is happen later. There is a unique submission, and then there are a different selection.
Yes, there is a unique submission, and the selection is working this way. So we are going to select 15 students with a reserve list, and they will be considered, let's say, idoneous to participate in the same selection phase for the scholarships funded, let's say, directly from some institutions and partners. There will be separated rankings to accept or renounce to the specific scholarship. Once all the specific scholarships are assigned, we will have a number of fellowship as a fee, let's say, not paid by the students for the first 8 people in the ranking list. So it's only one application, and the selection procedure is, let's say, doing the job of assigning the fellowship with respect to the ranking of the selection. And if I wanted to add something regarding to the librarian question, which is going to apply to any kind of field. So if you are already working somewhere, the idea of the full program for the internship is to decide, of course, with you and with your place of work, which is the most suitable project to be carried on during the internship. So, for example, if you're working in a scientific library, we could imagine a project that you are going to do during your work, but maybe with specific addressing some specific competencies related to the master in data management and curation. And that's the same for any institution. So we don't foresee that you do something, let's say, orthogonal to your current job in the internship, while we want you to integrate your new skills in your job. And
if I can, that if there are other very specific questions, of course, you may write us at the email address that it appears down here in the monitor, and moreover, that the registration will be uploaded in the next days in the Area Science Park website. So eventually, if you missed some information and you want to refresh, you may go there and find what you need. And of course, we are at disposal to answer to your question, even if in the next days.
Okay. Thank you, Federica, and I would like to thank all our guests for this webinar. It was really a pleasure to have you, and I would like to thank all the people that were following the webinar. And I saw there was a question. I think we are going to share the material with you. And as Federica said, we are very happy to respond to your email if you have further questions. So thank you very much for being here, and we hope to see you in September.